Alright, I'm just cleaning up my tool bag here, so I was putting everything back in that you need to be a cable technician. I was just going through it and oiling everything and making sure everything moved properly still, because there's a lot of times where I'm working in the rain. So just putting everything back in how I want, and I'll show you my process. So this is my my utility knife, Snowfa utility knife. It's actually quite nice. I just actually ran out of blades for it, so that's why I have just a little nub in it. I've ordered some, so I got that coming for me. Little tiny screwdriver I can just put on the bottom there. That one's actually kind of poop. Socket nut driver. I can go there. Another nut driver. This one I actually borrowed from one of my coworkers. Still haven't given it back. Probably should. It's like this. This is a cable toner. I borrowed this from one of my coworkers too. I have my own now, but I haven't given him his back, and I probably should. So I probably will do that eventually. Just flathead screwdriver. Never know when you're gonna need a flathead screwdriver for something. And 3/16. This is for set screws on basically almost every single active, active and passive device on the cable plant. Very handy. I usually just put that in this pocket here because I use it all the time. And then this is my big wrench. This is just in case someone decides to torque on a connector like this really tight, and it doesn't need to be super tight. You just basically need to snug it up and make sure it's firm. But you don't actually need to make sure it's like super tight. Just a normal screwdriver. Also very handy to have. And then these are my two little adjustable wrenches. I use these probably every single day. I usually put these right here where I'm working all the time. There's another 1/2-inch one. Don't really use that one too often, but I can just go there. Number 1 Robinson, go into the Robinson spot. Number 2 Robinson, go in the 2 Robinson spot. 7/16. Use this also every day. This opens almost everything. 7/16 and 1/2-inch almost open every active or passive on most cable plants. So it depends on what you got there. And then number 3 Robinson. Don't use that too much, so I usually just put that on the bottom of my tool bag. Torque wrench. It's stuck in 1 torque setting, and I believe that is 130-ish inch pounds. Then here's my 1/2-inch. Another thing I use every day, so that goes in the back. That's all the stuff I use all the time. And then here's my pliers and my other pliers. I got 2 sets of pliers. Always need 2. They can go in the pliers pocket there. And then this is something I forgot to oil, so I'm gonna oil that now because this cuts cable. It's very hard to open and close. It's not supposed to be like that. So I'm gonna give that some WD-40 that up. And I'm just gonna put you down here for a second. All right, got it all oiled up. It opens up pretty nice and smooth now. Wiped it off with my rag here, so it opens up nice. Put that on the bottom. Don't use that too often either. Wipe up my oil. I just got a standard pocket knife, just in case I need to cut something like heat shrink or anything. The knife's pretty dull, but it still works. I usually leave that in my little pocket here. Little flathead screwdriver, also kind of helpful, but I usually put that in that corner there. Cable knife, Klein Tools cable knife, very sharp, good for cutting heat shrink, pretty helpful. Sometimes it gets dull. Linesman pliers, good for taking the things apart, good for cutting 540 messenger, very helpful. That goes at the bottom. A really big screwdriver, I guess this is a standard, really big standard screwdriver. This goes in the bottom of my tool bag. Side cutters, probably the life of my tool bag. That goes like basically right here next to all my other crap. This is crimpers for putting on connectors like RG11, RG6, RG59. That just lives in the bottom of my bag. This is locking terminators. Locking terminator tool. Really helpful to have, especially if you have lots of locking terminators somewhere. All right, these are all my wrenches. Probably the most useful one is 7/16 because that takes off almost all the nuts. That just goes in the nut pocket. And I almost lost one. This little tiny one. I don't think I've ever used this one yet. This is my node tool. Tightens set screws on nodes. Also quite handy to have. 3/8 opens some things. Don't use it very often. This I use all the time. This is opening the screws on here on like taps and stuff. So I use that quite often. So that usually lives in its own pocket. And then I got a mini mag. It's okay. It's good, I guess. To be honest, since they given it to me, I never used it. So it just lives in a pocket with the needle nose. Tape measure. Always need to have a tape measure. And adjustable wrenches. I've got 2 of them. Putting on and off connectors. Very helpful. Those just live in the bottom of the bag since I don't really have any other room for them. And then the last thing I keep in my bag is cable prep tools. This is for cutting, it's for prepping RG11 and RG6 or RG59. So these are very helpful. Those live in the bottom of the bag too. Oh, almost forgot one thing. Gaiters. Gotta make sure you have your gaiters. These are for taking off the dielectric grease or the dielectric in the inside the cable when you core it with actually like a coring tool like this. This is one of the coring tools I use. This is for 500 cable. So you just take off the dielectric in the middle there and you pull it off, and then so you gotta have that. So those are the tools I use for being a cable tech.